Right, another WLA. In general, it's all there. It's all quite a nice looking bike. I haven't had it running. The guy said it did run, so not too worried about that as such. So just going through, he wants basically a health check on it. So Robin's gone through the checklist. We've got front wheel, the wheel's good, tyre perished, same as the rear wheel. Front brake wheel bearings, good, slight play in the front brake, which is, I think it's WLC, but I had a feel of it. Because of the way the WLC, they're the same as the rear wheel bearings on a WLA. You always have a little bit of play in them. You can't get it out because it's not a taper cone bearing system. Right, front fork condition. The brake shackle rods are all loose in the back plate. That's not unusual for them to be wobbling around in there. Bushes, but that's a whole kit there to do it that we had in stock. So all of that can be done. Grease nipples all painted over, so that hasn't been greased probably. Well, this one's got grease in it. But obviously, take the nipples off, clean them out, buff them up. They'll all be good, and then all you got to do is grease everything up again, because you know they might have grease in them, but you should keep these quite loaded up, you know.
How long will they last? And
they'll go on forever until there's just play in them. They can't physically break.
Okay.
They'll just get sloppier and sloppier, you know. So just clean them all up, pump them up nice and full of grease. All good. Clock, speedo and trip meter not working. Dial faded. That's been done. Ignition headlamp switch hard to turn. Not unusual on these. It's fine when it's like that. Put the lid back on and this hits the back of the lid, or sometimes you just have to dremel the lid out where the switch comes up through.
Yeah.
So that was most of that, I think. Brake light inoperable. I think Robin's done that. Fuel tap doesn't shut off. Leak from drain plug. Non-original pipe. That's just part of the course. That's all taken out now. I think Robin's done it now. Rebuilt it. So that's all good. He's done the leak on the drain plug. Oil lines, small leaks. Not unusual, but just give them a nip down. General engine condition, quite clean. Timer is tight. Oil on front barrel, possibly from leaking adjuster screw. Missing in tank. I don't know what that was. Let's have a look. Oh, that's right. That was loose. So that's all been done now. Yeah. Exhaust condition. Had a repair, but usable. Seating, seat T bush, post bush warm. We've changed the seat T bush. Post bush is wobbly. This is again what Robin's put together in that list that I don't know if you've emailed it over to him or not.
Yeah.
Rear chain worn. Jiffy stand's good, needs adjusting. All grease points painted over. Oh right, it's got a nut and bolt through there instead of a slider. That should be a thread one side, just with a square lug machined into the other side. So when your back wheel goes backwards and forwards when you adjust it, like that, on your chain tension, it just slides in there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they put a nut and bolt through it, but it's not, as long as you undo it before you try and adjust the wheel and then do it back up. One thing I did notice, that's the wrong actuating arm. One, it's the wrong actuating arm, and one, it's fitted in back to front. So what it does, the rear brakes end up, if you look at it, and the spring, that spring's on the wrong side. It should always be on the back, the springs, and it holds the shoes like that. I see they're sort of pointing upwards a bit.
So where am I looking?
Where I'm doing that. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that is a front brake actuating arm, where the shoes are narrower.
Yeah.
You look at that, see they're a lot narrower. So that should go all the way up to there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and because when you operate those brakes, can you see, if you look at that shoe, when you do it, it'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, you can see where it's worn into the shoe there. If you look at those shoes aren't level, they're ramping up that way.
Right.
Because it's only pushed it, so you're not getting full brake application as such. It's only working on half the brake shoe.
Right.
Like shiny, worn, shiny, worn. So it's only working on that little bit. So replace that, possibly some new brake shoes, or give them a soak in petrol and a clean up. They should be alright. There's plenty of meat on them, they're just oil saturated. Rear spindle lock nut is wrong. That's here nor there, it's just whether you want the right one or not. chain guard stud missing, the one that goes through here. Rear brake rod clevis badly repaired. Rear brake rod clevis. Oh, here. It's had a nut welded on it. Which again, it's only aesthetic, it will work,
Yeah.
you know. A couple of fins busted on the rear cylinder head. Again, probably won't make the slightest bit of difference to the way it runs. And the rear brake pedal bush worn. Which is our normal favourite, we love a bit of that. Possible primary chain.
But this is like a surface level check so far, so at what point do you then delve a bit deeper and start it up and seeing how it's running?
Well, we know it rides and runs because he's been riding it around. So that's not the end of the world. So generally, it will just be adjustments.
Right.
So a tune up, you know, do your tappets, do the points, do the timing, adjust the clutch up properly. All the clutch plates looked okay, but you know, inherently, they're old tractors. They will go. I don't know what year it is. It's just got 47011 stamped on there, and it's got a frame number here, AF 52499. Now, they did stamp the bikes when they were in Europe. AF could mean American Forces. It could mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know. It's definitely it's a pre-47 frame.
How are you telling that?
Just by the way the coil mounts, there's blocks welded on a post 46.
Right.
It's had a sidecar or something at some point, or a little side trailer with it. Again, on not the European side, on the American side. Their sidecars are this side. That's our side, how we have them.
Yeah.
So you've got a big ball socket there, which is basically a smaller version of that on there.
Yeah.
So that would have held that, and then it would have had a bar up to there, hold that, and possibly something on the front end. But it could have just been, they did little box trailers for them, not trailer, a box sidecar.
Yeah.
Literally just a oblong box. That was it. I think the US Mail used them. WLC big twin front end. It's definitely been a light colour green. But when you start looking around, you can see little bits like that speedo cable's got it on it. Look. Just every now and again you pick up a little hint of that colour there. Been wired with household wire or car wire or whatever, so not an original wiring loom, but it all works. So probably be a beehive light on the back of that. I think they're previous to that. Yeah, 19321. So they are 43 casings, or that side is, we'll see if we can see the other side. Probably quartermaster stores, blown it up, still 1943 casings, and they just stamped a number in it. Probably was in Europe or something, somewhere. See, well, not many of them stayed in America, to be fair. I can't see any markings that side casing, which is not unusual for a bike this old, you know. No, can't really see that. I mean, that side casing being stamped 43 on the line board number, that would have been stamped 42 WLA, because they were never stamped 43. Everything was stamped 40. It's either 40, 41, and then 42 for the rest of the war.
Yeah. Frame looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously had some welding and bits done here. Very unusual. You find a dead straight one anyway.
Yeah.
You know, as we've seen in the past, you know, they have a lot of damage. When you think about the stupid little convoy lights they were running and stuff, I mean, lorries driving up the back of them and all sorts of silly things happened, you know. Yeah, that frame leg's a little bit bent, but as we've said before, they're not a Grand Prix bike, you know. They're never going to go. Your cornering ability on one of these is suspect at the best of times, let alone worrying about whether the frame's got a little bend in it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to make the slightest bit of difference. Deep skirt mudguards are civilianised again. Got the correct caps on it, one deep, one shallow. Seat pins all good. Got your ride control on it. High headlamp. Later tank emblems. Oh my god. So spares and spanners. Yeah, that's what's happened. The ball bearing's gone. I've never changed one of these. So what I should do is, like I say, in that little tube there,
Yeah.
there's a spring in there and a ball bearing. So when you put, that's locked.
Yeah.
So when you, that should hold there. It can't, yeah, it's all free and flapping around. So the spring and ball bearing are gone. And then when you put your flat bladed key in, it pushes the ball bearing up into the hole.
Yeah.
So you can turn it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then when it comes back round, it should click the ball bearing back into a little recess in there. Like I say, I haven't actually changed one of those. It looks like it's only a screw, so we might be able to just put a spring and ball bearing in it for him.
So is it all like one key fits all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would, military ones never had an ignition key anywhere, so that was it. You just twisted it.
Yeah.
Never had an ignition at all. Not a locking key.
Yeah.
They were designed for squaddies. If somebody, you know, that, yes, people got them and said it's my bike.
Yeah.
But if matey came along and somebody said, go and take that message over there, they just got on a bike and rode it.
Yeah.
It was, you know, they weren't issued to people as such, as far as I'm aware. I'm sure people did
Personalise them a little bit.
my bike, my bike, my bike, but I think generally they're just a pull bike. You just went and grabbed it and went, you know. So that we should be able to do for him anyway. But all in all, generally a nice little bike, you know.